Rewind to 2022, and my friend Jake had just started making me go to the gym with him consistently. We were still new, small, and untrained, but we were highly motivated to build something new. So we found some basic routine off of Reddit and we just went for it. You see, we didn't really know anything other than the very basics, but that was to our advantage. You see, social media in the modern age has destroyed bodybuilding completely. Most people who look for advice on how to build muscle and how to lose weight, whatever their fitness goals are, they're being socially engineered to buy programs they don't need, take supplements that are useless, and they're being told lies that are preventing them from reaching their goals. Any search on any popular social media site is going to tell you the truth. You're going to have thousands of fitness experts telling you about the newest, most optimal variation, the newest fitness hack, the newest trendy routine. Science, studies, and the word optimal have plagued an industry where common sense and proven, replicable strategies have always been king. You see, getting jacked is very, very simple. Bodybuilding is very, very simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be further optimized. It doesn't need to be further enhanced in any way. A lot of people, they're worrying about, their specific exercise selection, their exercise order, their exact optimal variation. Is my wrist angle in the right trajectory? All of these things, they don't matter at all. Or at least they don't come into play until you're very, very advanced. You're 5 years in the gym, you're 10 years in the gym. You're refining that last 0.1% of your muscle fibers. The amount of times people are taking, like 5 different supplements and then they're asking me, oh, what's the most optimal brand? Like, bro, I don't take any supplements. I don't know any of the supplements. You don't need them. And on top of that, when you start focusing on things that don't matter, such as, your supplement, your exercise variation, your wrist angle, all of these random things, what ends up happening is you end up making huge detrimental errors in actually a few things that actually do matter. Like, for example, you're not eating enough to bulk up. Like, you're actually just not bulking up. So then what do you expect to gain? Or, for example, they're not recovering properly. They're having a routine where they're training 6 or 7 days a week and they're not seeing gains because their body can't rest and recover. Back when we started working out, we didn't know how to do any of the exercise. I remember doing face pulls. This is even like 1 year into working out. And I'm doing it like this, like with my biceps out like this. And my friend was doing it he's like, bro, you're trolling, man. That you can't do any weight like that. You're supposed to pull it in here. And he was doing full body humps, going like this. So we don't know what we're doing, right? But the thing is, we're showing up and we're progressively overloading, we're training hard, and we're figuring things out on our own. And you gotta realize that's also part of the fun of the gym. Part of the fun of the gym. That's part of the adventure. That's what's gonna keep you motivated. You're gonna show up, you're gonna do exercises, you're gonna figure things out on your own. You're gonna gain knowledge, you're gonna gain experience, and then if something's really bothering you, if you don't know how to do something, or you're stuck, that's when, okay, you search up that specific problem and then you can find the answer to that. You don't need solutions before you have the problem. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of people right now. They're not solving the right problem. The problem that they have is they're not training hard enough, they're not staying consistent, they're not eating enough, and they're not recovering properly. Those are the 4 problems that pretty much all of you guys are having. Yet the problems that you're trying to solve is, how do I optimize my diet? Which exercise variation is best? Should I do drop sets? Should I do partial reps? And it's like, bro, you're not even making all 4 of your scheduled days in the gym. So these are the things that you shouldn't be focusing on, and you should be focusing on, the more important things, showing up to all of your days in the gym, making sure that you're training hard, making sure that you're progressively overloading. Don't be one of those guys who are falling for all these new science scams and studies show that actually this set and rep scheme's more optimal and all of that other stuff. You don't want to be doing things that aren't relevant to your goals. You don't want to be focusing on things that are going to hold you back. I know it's very hard in this modern day where you're bombarded by information constantly, especially about things that Instagram is no secret. It knows what you the kind of content that you'll naturally be curious about. Same with YouTube and any other social media site. So it's hard to put aside the noise, but I'm telling you that you need to focus on the problems that you are actually having, such as training hard, staying consistent for a few months at least, making sure that you're eating in a big surplus. Making sure that you're recovering, you're resting at least 2 days a week, that you have those days just to sit, relax, and eat. You don't stress your body out, you're not stressing your nervous system out. If you're gonna do that for a few months, then you're gonna see the results that you wanna see. Stop trying to find solutions to problems that you don't have. It's unnecessary and it's going to hold you back. If you do want to focus on the exact problems that you are having, and you want to cut out all of the extra noise, check out my free checklist down in the description below. I have a free checklist that tells you all the things you need to check off and the most common problems to avoid. If you can do that and stay consistent for a while, you're going to see results. If you want the checklist, it's down in the description below. Feel free to go check that out, and good luck to you in the gym. It's going to be great. Anyways, like the video if you did, subscribe to stick around for more content just like this. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.